Hello everyone, I'm Bonita from Pennies to Dollars and welcome back to my channel today. Today we're going to touch on decluttering. This is a topic that I really enjoy, so I throw it in from time to time, and I know some of you are working on that as well. So I thought I would share with you a lot of the steps that I discovered along the way on my own. And that's what a lot of my decluttering videos are things that I discovered along the way that I thought might be helpful to other people. Realizations, ways to distinguish what to keep, what to throw away, what to donate, what to give away. All of those things that go through your head as you're trying to figure out what to do with the stuff that you've accumulated. Many of you know that my daughter got me excited about this by loaning the book to me that is Marie Kondo's The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up. She loaned this to me a few years back, and I literally could not put this book down. I read it cover to cover. I took notes. I got excited. I couldn't wait to get started. It really built a fire within me to start decluttering. I came from Depression era parents that saved everything, every newspaper, every milk jug, everything they could possibly use for anything else. And I still believe a lot of that. I still struggle with believing that I need to save things if they have another purpose. And I do reuse so many things that I share with you for other purposes. But I realized that how much they saved was the problem. It wasn't what they saved. It was that they saved way more than they could ever reuse, that they saved more of things that they really didn't have a purpose for. And it became a point that we were pack ratting a lot of things just in case in the future there became a reason that we could use something. And so I try to keep that manageable. I try to keep a check on what I keep. Is it a manageable amount? Is it something I can reuse? And if it is something I can reuse, how many of them am I actually going to reuse? I don't want an entire cabinet full of whipped cream containers that fall out every time you open the door. I used to live like that. And so I realized that I had saved too much over the years just because I had been taught to do that. So what I did is I started decluttering with a plan. I made a list. I made a several-page list of things that I wanted to accomplish, things that I knew I needed to go through, things that I knew that I needed to tackle. And so I made this huge list of things I wanted to accomplish. And I'm a list person, so I need to see it to not only remember the things that I thought about that I needed to do, but also to be able to cross things off and see that I was actually making headway on some of my plans. So I had some really big tasks that would take a lot of time, a lot of energy, a lot of motivation. And then I had little tasks on here that would be smaller things that I could tackle when I wasn't very motivated or I didn't have very much time, to at least feel like I was still moving forward in some way. Now, this plan started out, I thought, to be maybe a 2-year process. That was my mind. I was like, well, you know, I've lived here for a lot of years. I've probably lived here for maybe 26 years. So I thought, you know, I've accumulated a lot of things and I need to go through them. Maybe it'll take me a couple of years. That couple of years turned into 3 years, 4 years, and now I think I'm like on a 5-year plan or something. So it doesn't go quickly if you have a lot of things or you've lived somewhere a long time, or you had parents like mine that taught you to save anything that might have another use to it. So some of the big tasks that were on my list were like cleaning out the garage. cleaning out things that I had stored in buildings that needed gone through, that maybe hadn't been looked at in years, seeing if I could donate some, sell some, dispose of things that were no longer good. And some of the smaller jobs were like maybe going through a box or two that I had stored in the upstairs hallway, or going through my jewelry to find the broken pieces, the earrings that didn't match, stuff like that. And so I had a variety of things on here. And then I had a lot of things on here that I wanted to fix, that I wanted to get fixed. Maybe I had some broken items that needed to get fixed. And so I started off with, like, I don't know, 3 pages. I guess that was kind of thinking small, but I put my thought into it, and I went through the 3 pages and I started picking things off one by one. Some of the things I even wrote started by, to make myself feel like at least I had started on that task and I needed to get back to it. I did like the upstairs hallway declutter. That was a pretty big job. I rearranged all of the games that we had up there. I went through a lot of stuff, and I ended up being surprised because I thought one corner was like all of my third son's stuff from when he moved out. And it turned out to be more like toys from my 5th kid. So, I mean, I had some surprises of, I think I have this stored here and it's not even what I thought it was. So I had a lot of things that I really had to sort through, make decisions about, ask the kids, do you want this, before I get rid of it. I wanted to go through like all of my old towels. I would tear them up, make them into rags. So, I mean, I reused things where I could, because I don't buy paper towels. We don't buy napkins. And that was one thing that I found in my declutter, is I not only had like 1 package of cloth napkins, I had 3, and 2 of them had never been opened. So I immediately opened those, began using those. We only use cloth napkins now. Such a money saver, such a time saver, and they look pretty on the table in the basket that I have. So I found things along the way that I had stored that I'd never used that actually could help me in my frugal journey. Things like the napkins. I looked for earrings that were missing. Some of them I couldn't find, or I knew they had broken and I'd thrown them away, but for some reason I'd saved the other earring. I have no idea why. So I disposed of a lot of that costume jewelry that wasn't important, couldn't be replaced, wasn't going to find the match, had been gone forever. And that made my jewelry box so much more usable. I went through my clothes. I sorted them by sizes, because I've changed sizes over the years, and I separated them out so that I picked out my favorite stuff in every size, and I got rid of the rest of it. And I put them in like Ziploc clear bags with the size on a piece of paper inside there, so that I can quickly see that. And I've had a daughter that's changed sizes. She was actually able to go through one of my bags the other day and actually pick out some stuff that she could wear that I don't know if I'll get into again. I hope that I will, but I got rid of a lot of clothes. I also went through all of my sheets, and I had that on the list. I was able to mark that off. My blankets. I was still storing so many of those, like I still had a huge family, and, I just didn't need them anymore. I didn't even have that many beds. I didn't even have some of the beds that size. We fixed some things like faucets and cabinet hinges that were on my list. We sealed off some windows in some outbuildings that were cracked and needed sealed so that things didn't get wet. I sold several things. I sold a toddler bed. I sold some clothes. I sold a lot of stuff, and I was really shocked at how long I'd stored it. It was still valuable. It still was worth something. It was still in good shape. And so I got some money out of some things that I felt like, I'd stored it this long. I might as well try to get some money out of it before I pitch it. And I do have one small stack of things that I'm trying to sell, but all of the rest either got donated thrown away, sold, given away, something like that, because I didn't want to keep everything. I limited myself to a very small stack. I went through like my upstairs desk and found all kinds of candles that I had that I didn't even remember that I had stored away that had been Christmas gifts. I started using some of those candles and enjoying them. And so I found it to be very valuable. And I did a lot of things in the house first because I felt like that's where my traffic was. That's what people would see. I had a back bedroom that nobody could even use because they had so much stuff stored in it. And I think that's very common for a lot of people my age, that you end up with a back bedroom that you never use because it's just used for storage. And so we were able to get that cleaned out, get it working into a working guest room. Then I started prioritizing things without looking at my list. In fact, I pulled my list out the other day and I was surprised how many things that I could mark off of it. I thought I needed that list in the beginning, but then I realized that as I went along, I could prioritize and find things to do that I didn't have on my list, that I didn't maybe know that stack of stuff was in that corner behind. I thought it was all blankets or something. And I'd find some boxes to go through. And I'm like, why did I keep this? Some of it was like old college papers. I'm like, why do I have this? My goodness. And so I was able to dispose of so much stuff that I had stored that I didn't even realize I still had it and didn't need it, and just freed up a lot of space, which kept me motivated. So when I looked at that list and I was able to mark off a bunch of stuff that I'd done without looking at the list in a long time, I was really excited. And then it reminded me of some things that were on the list that I had totally forgot about because I started prioritizing on my own as I went through things. It's so easy to see the progress that you've made and think, I'm almost done. I can kick back for a while. I'm almost done. I don't have that much left. But making a room look better or a main room look better can actually kind of stop you in your tracks because you think, I'm almost there. I'm making huge progress and I'm almost there. And all those hidden places are still not tackled or not completed. I started a lot of things that I never completed. I started some buildings and cleaning them out, and then it would just get overwhelming and I'd go back to like cleaning out one box. And then I would reassure myself, you got 3 boxes cleaned out today. You got 4 boxes cleaned out today. You did good. And I would remember to pat myself on the back for the progress that I made, because with my back problems, sometimes I can only do, an hour or 2 at a time. And by then I'm done for 2 or 3 days because I'm hurting. And so I would remember to congratulate myself. You got this space open. Look at that space. You did that today. That's good. And I would just keep rewarding myself in that way in my head so that I had the motivation to keep going. There's times that I would stop what I was doing for a while and I would maybe paint a wall or do something like that to improve and get closer to the vision that I had in my head when I started. And some of those things are also a really good reward. If you get a room cleaned out and ready to go, maybe paint that room and meet that vision that you had in your head when you started, to let yourself know that you've made some huge progress. This room is now beautiful. That little coat of paint can make such a huge bit of difference. And you know that you are going to be motivated to go to the next thing. So there's really no time limit. In fact, I don't even know how you can set a time limit on decluttering when you have a lot of stuff that you don't know how long it's going to take you to go through. You don't know how long it's going to take you to make decisions for things. And people really push for you to make quick decisions. But if you make quick decisions about some things that are important, you may regret it later on. So I make quick decisions about the stuff that I know I don't want, that I know that's trash, that I know I have no use for. And then I take a slower time to make decisions over something that maybe has a memory attached to it, or something that I know I can maybe use in the future, and use some of that creativity to say, hey, can I use this to be something that will be something that I'll really enjoy in the future? So I take different amounts of time for different things, which is why I don't know how someone can really put a time limit on their plan. I look at things and say, do I need this? What can I do with this? How do I dispose of this? Sometimes it's easier to figure out what you can do with it than it is to figure out how to dispose of it, in my case, because I live in the country and I don't have trash pickup. And then I also think about, can I bless someone with this that would want it, that could use it, that maybe is in need of it? So all those things take time as you're going through this. I always try to encourage everyone, take the time that you need. Take the time that it takes for your body, for your mind to process. You will find some things you move through quickly, and then you will find some things that really slow you down and you feel like you're just stuck in the mud. But if you continue, your decision-making ability will get easier, it will get stronger, you'll be more confident in your decisions, and every time that you clean out that one or two boxes, you'll know that you're making progress, and you'll be so proud of yourself that it keeps you motivated to keep moving. Now, I can't do a lot of this in the winter time. Our outbuildings, they're just too cold. They're not heated. My upstairs is unheated. It gets freezing cold, so I can't do things upstairs. But I have most of that, underway, and I don't really know what else I would do at this point up there. But I'm just saying, summer and when it's warm in spring or fall, those are the times for me that I really make a lot of progress. The winter, things really slow down and I don't see a lot of progress because I've done most of my inside things. So as you move forward, look at that list if you're a list maker and see if there's things that you can do this winter to keep that momentum going. Maybe there's some things in there that you don't want anymore. I had some old glasses that the kids remembered drinking out of growing up, and they were like, I'd like to have those. I said, great, take them. Anything you guys want like that, take it. Because I don't want to push things on people, but if you want them, by all means, take them, because that's one less thing that I have to make a decision about, one less thing that I have to store. So I hope some of this thought process has helped you today. If it is, let me know. And please share in the comments maybe some things that you have found easy to declutter and some of the things that you're sticking in the mud trying to figure out what to do with. Thanks for listening today, and I hope you have a great day.